Hey everybody! My name is Brenda Lee Kitchen. I'm the coordinator for Protect NL. We're going to be coming on here Friday morning live at 9 o'clock every Friday morning. We're going to be calling it Flash Fridays, and it's a quick and dirty update on some of the happenings that's been going on this week that we really think that you need to be in the know. Sunday nights we do a live here on Facebook. Just click my profile to join. That live on Sunday nights is much more interactive, where anybody tuning in can ask questions. We can have a back and forth conversation. But here on Friday mornings, it's just Flash Fridays, and we just want to get as much information out there as we can. Really important information that we think you need to know in 15 minutes. When I get off, we're asking you to share. We have to continue to step up, and we need to continue to make our presence known here in Newfoundland and Labrador. They really do want us to get tired and go away, but we're not going anywhere, and we have to show that we have the stamina to keep going. So if you're out there and you're watching, I'm going to give you a quick update here for Flash Fridays. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I will stick around after to have a conversation with you and answer your questions as much as you can. Again, if you want something just a little bit more interactive, pop in on Sunday nights. Those lives are just a little bit longer. Alrighty. Okay, so awesome. So action is key, and we just want to remind people that anytime that you're taking on something as big as government and the elite, big business, you also have to remember to obey the law and be peaceful at all times, okay? There's a lot happening right now in Newfoundland and Labrador and across the country, and we certainly wouldn't want anybody to have the police showing up at the door simply because people are going wild at the moat. So always be sassy yet classy. Sassy is stamina, action, strategy, and specifics, okay? And when we say sassy, yes, we can win this as long as we have the stamina, we take the action, we work together with strategy, and I'm going to talk about how you can do that now when it comes to EVREC. And also the Energy NL conference. Strategy is having people present outside that Energy NL conference for the past 2 years, and it would be really good to have people outside again, especially with EVREC is the wind energy to hydrogen mega project that's moving ahead in Central, and we're very concerned that EVREC is going to continue to move ahead because they got Andrew Parsons lobbying for them, and they also have Lloyd Parrott doing some pretty fancy footwork when it comes to word salad. So I also found out this week that when I put out a question to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, asking them if they thought that Lloyd Parrott was just another performing politician, many people just answered the question. They just quickly answered the question that Lloyd Parrott, yes or no, and nobody looked at the evidence that I brought forward that would bring high concerns, would raise a lot of concerns about Lloyd Parrott. And I'm going to talk about Lloyd Parrott, Tony Wakeham, and EVREC here this morning. So Lloyd Parrott is worth repeating because so many people did not read the information that we provided. Lloyd Parrott gave an update on wind hydrogen development in February 19, 2026. That was just this year. Lloyd Parrott said, in this press release, due to the lack of progress and non-payment of Crown Land's reserve fees, the Crown Land Reserves for World Energy GH2 Limited Partnership, EverWind NL Company, and ABO, which is, I can't pronounce it properly, but Took a Look Wind and Hydrogen Limited, will not be extended beyond February 28, 2026. And then, in addition to this press release, there was also several maps that were then provided to the people, and it showed the wind energy reserve as of before February 28, before Lloyd Parrott gave his press release, and then it also showed the land reserve after. So apparently, they're trying to claim that the wind energy land reserve has shrunk, and and what was the word again? Let's get their word again that Lloyd Parrott used in this press release will not be extended beyond February 28, 2026. So all the people that quickly responded to the press release that we put out this week, questioning Lloyd Parrott on whether he was just another performing politician, I want to know, because many of you just automatically gave a reactive, yes, Lloyd is the bomb.com, but not one of you responded to this press release. And if you think Lloyd Parrott is so good, then I really want to know why you think he said this. And it gave the illusion that we had all of this had no longer been extended. And people actually, remember, some people actually said, thank goodness we all stuck together so we could beat this. People were calling an open line, patting themselves on the back. They were so excited because, 3 projects are finished. That's what we were led to believe. Lloyd Parrott, the man who so many of you quickly came to his defense and told me, hell yeah, Lloyd should be the next premier. Bum, bum, bum. Then let's get down to the specifics, okay? Get past the bravado that you're seeing in the House of Assembly. Remember, that's all a show. And look, they're spending so much time in the House of Assembly talking about hurt feelings, conduct. They're only in there for about 3 months before they're going to break. Then they're only in there for another month. They're pissing in the wind is what they're doing. And everybody, not everybody, because some people see the truth, but a lot of people are running around after them, and rather than sticking to the issues, okay? And the issue is, and the big concern is that Lloyd Parrott led us to believe that all these lands were no longer extended past February. And all of you that are jumping to his defense, I want to know what you think of this, because many of you are against these wind energy mega projects. Meanwhile, you got Lloyd Parrott misleading the people, allowing us to believe that these particular projects are done because they had lack of progress and they weren't paying their Crown land fees. Now, we also know that Paul Pike, a volunteer, a fantastic volunteer out on the Barren Peninsula, who's been very dedicated, he wrote Minister Chris Tibbs. His email was forwarded to Eric Watton, and if you've written in it with any feedback on any of these projects, you're going to know Eric Watton's name. He is the senior environmental scientist. He's also the one that's supposed to be answering our questions. When Scott Reed played Pass the Buck, he said that this guy should be answering all our questions. And then when I went to this guy to answer my questions, he said, well, there's no actual projects off the ground, and until they're actually off the ground, we can't answer your questions. It doesn't make any sense to me. Again, they're pissing in the wind, and is all about delaying tactics. We always go back to those dirty D's, and delay is ridiculous, and deflect. But this was, I think is a clear sign of dishonesty, and that's really horrible. And for Lloyd Parrott to mislead the people, to be dishonest in such a way, and then to still have people say this man should be premier, like, you guys are being served shit pie, and instead of saying, hey, we deserve better pie, I don't want to eat shit pie. Instead of saying that you deserve a better pie, some of you are saying, you know what, I'm going to take that piece of shit pie and I'm going to swallow it down and eat it, okay? So come on, right? Like, Lloyd Parrott misleaded the people, dodge, dive, deflect, and what he did is wrong. And we got a message from Eric Watton, and Eric Watton says, and I'll read specifically for World Energy GH2 because people were so relieved that we weren't dealing with John Brisley anymore. The World Energy project to which you refer to is the Port-au-Port Stephenville Wind Power and Hydrogen Generation, registration 2002. The project was released from environmental assessment on April 9, 2024, and the decision remains in effect for a period of 3 years, which may be extended for a maximum of 3 periods of 1 year. And Paul's question was specifically, I am writing to ask what is the current status of the proposed wind hydrogen projects, and he includes World Energy GH2, now that the land reserves have been terminated. So what is really going on here? Why are the projects still in effect? Did they lose the land or didn't they? And we're very worried that this is just another attempt to mislead the people, to let us think that we've won so that we let our guard down and we don't do anything we kind of sit back, we won this, we let the other projects continue to squeak through, is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So Lloyd Parrott, for those of you who are still singing his praises, thinks that he has a lot of bravado to protect Newfoundland and Labrador, I want to know what you think specifically of his press release in February where he said that the Crown lands would not be extended. What's really going on here? Okay, so that's Lloyd Parrott. Moving on to Tony Wakeham. Tony Wakeham is I think you're right, Lauren. I think the whole point of this is that they're all wings of the same bird, and and people are going to have to learn the hard way, and that's okay, because we still have a little bit time to stay ahead of this. Unfortunately, I also had to learn the hard way. Like I didn't. I believe that these people in the beginning were ultimately good, that they were there, and I say people, but please know that I'm not lumping everybody together. I do believe that there are good politicians out there. Yes, I do. No, don't go give me a smack in the mouth over that. I 100% believe that there's good politicians out there, and it's up to us to find them. Lloyd Parrott, I don't believe he's one of them, and that's a prime example. What is really going on here. Really look forward to Paul Pike getting a response from Lloyd Parrott's office on that one, and see how he can dance amongst his word salad. So Tony Wakeham, I also just want to remind people, you were all here when the election happened. Like, you remember, or like, is this were we gaslit or something? But Tony Wakeham did said on multiple occasions that he wanted to have a referendum, and that up to the people he would have a referendum on the Churchill Falls. Sorry, we're switched to Churchill Falls there now. So Tony Wakeham, we're going to have a referendum. I remember my dad feeling so happy to hear, finally, someone's going to ask the people, they're going to stop this madness. And how many times have Tony Wakeham been asked about that again? Absolutely ridiculous how he is dancing around that. I watched an interview with him last night with national media, where, they're looking at him and they're like, man, we, more or less, this is a summary, we heard you say you were going to have a referendum, so what's going on? And Tony's like, we have to get a deal first. Look, Tony, we know you're not answering the question. Why not simply say, look, I didn't know that a referendum was going to cost over $8 million. I don't know the numbers. That's what Jim Dean quoted on Open Line the other day. I didn't know. I really have to give this a lot of thought before we spend Newfoundlanders and Labradorians money on a referendum. Why don't we see what deal we can get? Stop dancing around. And his actions as well as his words are showing you got to really keep your eye on this guy. So that's Tony Wakeham, okay? Now I want to go right into EVREC. And Sally Kitchen, I love you so much. These are your words because you're brilliant. You know what? When it comes to EVREC, they are the project that's moving ahead in Central. We're very worried that will be the project to move ahead. That is the project that has Andrew Parsons lobbying for it to get money. It's one of the projects that Lloyd Parrott says is continuing to proceed. We all know they all have the Crown lands for 3 years anyway. But EVREC is on the books. They're pushing forward. They're deleting comments off their LinkedIn. They're painting the narrative. They don't care what's happened up to this point. And I'm really sorry to say, but it seems like the people of Botwood and Central, instead of getting more powerful and building a bigger team so that you can really make a physical impact, perhaps at the Energy NL conference, there's just seems to be more talking on Facebook and little to no action. Please, if you live in and around Central, or you care about Central and Newfoundland and Labrador, please consider going to the Energy NL conference. Ravi Sud is going to be speaking on June 4th in the afternoon. You have to follow up your words with action. So it's up on the internet now. You got until July 4th to give feedback. All of this is important. If you can cause delays for EVREC by providing so much tremendous feedback that you force government's hand to, keeping them open for another 60 days to answer more questions, you have to keep doing it. That's one strategy piece. But the other strategy piece is you have to be physically taking some sort of action. And if nobody in Central is putting on that leadership hat, to take charge, to take physical action. You got to look amongst yourselves now. We didn't want to be leaders either. Like, we're just stepping up because we love Newfoundland and Labrador, and we know ultimately where this is all heading. So I see that as 9:15. I'm gonna throw one more thing out there. This is words of my sister because she's brilliant. Kathleen, we can trust each other. We trust the people. That's the thing. That's the hard thing here, is that you can't trust. This is the position government has put us in. They're no longer trustworthy. Many are misguided. This is why the people are the ones that has the rise to pull them back in line. So things like writing letters to your MHAs and Premier, keep working on those things. Get some signs put up. This is very grassroots. Get signs put back up in these communities and on the highways. Make sure EVREC knows they are coming against our will. You got to take physical action. They talk about hundreds of jobs. Most of those jobs are already gone before they come out. MOUs are already signed. They'll get first pick of most jobs linked to all new wind projects in the province. They're building a temporary work camp, and they'll bring their own crew members in to build the turbines. These are private companies working on their profits. We are not number one in their eyes. The money is number one in their eyes. They want the money, and they're going to lie to you to get it. Isn't that right, John Risley? We're seeing the same pattern. We need to consider getting drone shots, pictures, videos of the area before the company moves in. They're not going to like that either. They mentioned, by the way, not one but 2 ammonia plants online. They say the project is 3.25 gigawatts, but we are getting numbers much higher than that. How are they even powering the project, including plants and buildings? Oh, and they got a solar farm on the go now. It's not even big enough to power the project. And although they are putting in diesel generators, using them for anything but emergencies defeats the whole purpose of green energy. It's just crazy what's going on there. So EVREC, their registration number is 2327. Make sure you mention that in your feedback. And again, that's the company that's looking at those 3 wind farms, up to 530 turbines in central Newfoundland, 150 megawatt solar farm, and a 2.6 gigawatt hydrogen ammonia production facility in Botwood. We're finding evidence of 2 ammonia plants. So that's not too bad. That's 15 minutes quick and dirty update to give you some information on what we think you need to know. Look deeper with Lloyd Parrott. And for those of you that are big fans, ask them what's really going on with World Energy GH2. Push them on to specifics. Tony Wakeham, biased. It also tells me that he's not his own boss. Somebody told him he has a handler. He has a handler telling him what to say, and he was told to avoid all discussion of the referendum. So while he played all around the mulberry bush, he showed us that he does not know how to answer a question. He knows how to play with word salad. I say he doesn't know how to answer a question, but he knows full well how to answer that question. But somebody told him not to. That's what I don't understand. Why don't they just be honest with us? You know, Tony Wakeham, and then of course EVREC feedback is available on their project now up to July 14th. July 4th, sorry, is the deadline. July 4th is the deadline. And so make sure you also consider physical action. If you know anybody that loves Newfoundland and Labrador, right now our focus really needs to be on EVREC and Lloyd Parrott as he continues to trumpet his way forward and push. Remain peaceful at all time, but you are just as smart and smarter than these people, okay? Ask them questions, push back, get the specifics, make sure that they know that you know that they're attempting to pull the wool over your eyes, and give them examples. Remember, specifics. All right, I hope that is a good, quick and dirty 9:19. That's not too bad. Thank you, everybody who's popping in and commenting. You're darn right, Kathleen. It's all about control. It's all about making us look around and not know who to trust. That's what it's about. It's about trying to, again, make us feel like there's nothing we can do. Remember how many times it was repeated to us in the beginning? It's a done deal. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. That was all about brainwashing us and just simply accepting it was a done deal. But the smarter you are, the more that you really look at these politicians, you will be able to see the lies, no problem. And they don't like that. They don't like when they get exposed. You got to keep exposing them. Remember, sassy yet classy. Stamina, action, specifics. Stamina, action, strategy, specifics, and yes, we can win this. All right, keep commenting, keep sharing your ideas. Please share this post. Let people know that is only 15 minutes. They can end it. They'll be so captivated by then they won't want to end it. They'll watch it to the end. But know that we remain committed to protect Newfoundland and Labrador. While we've seen a dirty part of, you know, really dirty parts of people and how low people are going to go when they get the whiff of money or ego is used against them. Protect and L, we are here for the long run. We're not going anywhere. We're like a dog with a bone, and we're going to stay on top of this as much as we possibly can. Please join our team. Please help us continue to get stronger and take action. You got to take action. So June the 4th, at the Energy NL conference, Robbie Sood will be there in the afternoon. Make them feel as uncomfortable as you possibly can while still being peaceful. They don't like being yelled at. Bring lots of signs, nose makers, have your chants ready. It's only one day. You can make a huge impact, okay? There's going to be investors there. Anyway, I can keep going on forever. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. Take care.